All right. If you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap twice, if you can hear me clap 3 times, it still works. It still works. Okay. I need one person on this side and one person on this side. Tell us a boundary. Give us an example. Yes, ma'am.
My time. I don't have time for me.
Oh, yes.
I have time for everybody else. I can do everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
I can pick up your kids. I can do all that stuff. I can go to the school, to the meetings. I can do everything, but nothing.
I'm going to repeat it for you. I got you. She said her time. She needs boundaries on her time. She can do everything for everybody else, but no time for herself. Yeah. So how are you going to set that limit? What's the plan?
You're right. I've trained them like that. I've trained them like that. So they're not doing anything that I haven't allowed them to do all the time. It's just that now, I was sick last year, and I was off work for 5 months. During that time, when I was off those 5 months, I just started to realize that I was doing so much stuff for everybody else. When you land in the bed, you can't do anything else except look at the ceiling. You realize that you didn't do anything for you. If you died right now, what would you have accomplished? What would you say you did that you wanted to do? That was important to you? And the answer was nothing. But for my sister, for my brother, for everybody who needs me, I'm Johnny on the spot. For me, I take a back seat all the time. I'm like, I feel okay. I'm sick, but I can still do it.
Oh, let me say something about that. Give me the microphone. Because you just hit a nerve. You just hit a nerve. I'm sick, but I can still do it. Let me tell you the tragedy of being a powerful, able, intelligent woman. You think just because you can do it, you should. So there's so many things. Yes, I can do it. I can adjust my schedule. I can leave out that thing I wanted to do. I cannot buy what I wanted to buy for me to give it to you. I can. Just because you can does not mean you should. So if you need a boundary on your time, let me just give you an idea. You do what works for you. On my calendar, I'm not going to tell y'all what day, because if you're trying to meet with me, you're going to be like, I know you free on that day. On my calendar, there's 1 day a week that is my Sabbath. 1 day a week. And I'm not perfect at it. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend. But I'm getting a lot better. 1 day a week is my Sabbath. What does that mean? I go sit by the water. For me, I read my Bible. I have quiet time. I listen to music. Whatever I want to do that day is what I do on that day. Now, I have to discipline myself. I cannot check my email on that day because that's a black hole. As soon as you open that door, you're gone, right? You're gone. I don't sleep beside my phone on that day. Because if I'm turning my alarm off, and now you're doom scrolling, and now you're answering people, and now so I set myself up. I don't just say this day is blocked out. I prep for that day. I intentionally plan that day. And again, it's not perfect. If I'm on the road, I don't get it, right? Or if work is backed up that particular week, I won't do it. And I don't give myself a hard time about that. But I have a regular practice of having a personal Sabbath day just for me. And I'm a better mama and a better wife the whole day. Until them jokers get home from work, it's just me and the dog. And she'll get put out if she play with me. You know what's interesting? If you had a doctor's appointment, you wouldn't give that time up. If you had an assignment for work, you wouldn't say, oh, I can do it on that day. You protect everything else. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen. I know that about me, so I put it on the calendar. And I prep for it so that I can have that time to recover, to rest, and to play. For whatever that means for me. So that's about your time. Okay, one more quickly. Yes, ma'am. What's your limit? Pass that for this. Okay, so what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to put it away because I was just telling these ladies I just met, I don't even eat my lunch in peace. I don't eat dinner. I'm on the phone with my best friend. At lunchtime, I'm supposed to be free for an hour. But the phone is going off. At night, just like you said, you wake up in the middle of the night because you can't sleep because you're thinking about stuff. But somebody done messaged you and you got to respond. I was on the phone with the guy that's in Tennessee because he couldn't sleep. And he asked me, why did I respond? And I said, because you woke me up. But did he stop talking? No. So this is the thing that's killing us.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I am convinced that it will be decades before we understand the impact of our phones on our bodies and our minds. So why wait? Why wait for that data? Why not adjust your habits now to allow it to be a tool in your life and not your whole life? The tool should not run the maker, right? So we got to adjust ourselves. Y'all, we got to keep going. Say it one more time and then I got to get you out of here. Baggage. Boundaries. Brilliance. Now listen, friend, don't you leave me now because you need to hear this. You have an innate, unique value, a brilliance that you bring to the world around you without even trying. Without even trying. Your brilliance is not your job title. It is not your job description. It is certainly not your salary. You were brilliant before you went to college. Even if you didn't go, you were brilliant before you had the family, before you found the spouse. You've been brilliant all your life. And I don't want you to run away from the word brilliance because there's too much happening in this world for you to continue pretending that you are not brilliant. You have an impact like nobody else. There is no substitute. There is no duplicate. It is like your fingerprint. How do I know you touched the project? How do we know you're in the room? What is the value you bring to the team that they would lose if you were not there? I even work with folks who are retiring or recently retired, and they feel like, who am I now? Now that I don't have this job, now that I don't have this title, am I still important? I need you to know you don't leave your brilliance at that job. You might have gave it to them for a long time, but the brilliance goes with you. You just express it in a different way now. Your brilliance is your superpower and your kryptonite. It is how you impact people, systems, and organizations. And it is also your number one stumbling block if you are not careful. Because it is just that powerful. When I talk about brilliance, there are 4 components that I want you to consider in discovering your brilliance. And again, in your workbook, there are some activities to support you through this. Let me tell you why brilliance is so important. I don't want to forget this. When you know who you are, you don't fight for validation. If you don't know you're brilliant, you will think you need another degree. You need another certification. You need a relationship. You need a this, you need a that in order to be okay. When you are aware of your brilliance, you know that as soon as you step into the room, power just showed up. So that's why, y'all might not have known it, but I came to start trouble today. I came to stir up fire in your belly. I want you to be so intrigued by who you are that you stop looking at everybody else and you start paying attention to who you are. We got to get out of here. Let me tell you. 4 parts. First of all, your tools. These are pieces you have acquired over your life. Degrees, certifications, experience, skills. Those are tools. These are things that you've picked up. They don't make you. They just accentuate the brilliance. They help you carry it out, right? So if I'm a carpenter, the hammer is not more important than the carpenter. The hammer helps me carry out the mission. Your tools help you carry out the mission. So yes, go get your tools, but keep it in proper perspective. It does not make you who you are. You were brilliant before you got them. So you got tools. Then you have talent. Now this is where it gets sticky. Because in your talent, you are better than most. This is an area of life that you're really good at. And people continue to call on you to do this thing because you are so good. And many of you have several talents. Y'all smiling at me right now. Don't look away. Don't look away. You are a very talented person. But talent alone will wear you out. Anybody ever, a subject comes up in the room and you know they're about to call on you? And you're like, not again. Please leave me alone. I don't want to do. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean that's what you should be doing all the days of your life. So you have tools, you have talent. This is where it gets very specific. Your brilliance is also about your identity. What experiences do you have? Good, bad, and ugly. What you have been through has value. And the very thing that you want to hide, the very thing you are ashamed of, the very thing you don't want anybody to know, that's the thing that's going to make the difference in other people's lives. This is not like a personality test or, one of those other things where you take the test and you're like, oh my God, how did they know me? That is so much like me. They're just telling you like why you're like other people. If they can take all humans and put them in 9 categories, they're not telling you why you're special. They're telling you how you're alike. And that's good data. But what makes you different are your experiences. Nobody's walked your walk. I met a lady, Miss Dorothy, a couple weeks ago. Miss Dorothy goes to scenes of trauma and tragedy, and she supports the mamas. I said, Miss Dorothy, how do you do that? She's been doing it for years. I said, how do you do that? She was like, because nobody was there for me when my daughter was murdered. Nobody's going to support you like Miss Dorothy. That's her experience. We got to go. Last part, your passions. What lights you up? What sets you on fire? So when you take all 4, your skills and your tools, your talents, your identity, and your passion, the sweet spot in there is your brilliance. And that is the impact that you make on the world like nobody else. I'm going to close with this real quick. I met a professor in Idaho. I met her because I was lost and I couldn't find where I was supposed to go in the building. And I ran into her and she's like, oh, I can show you. And she's showing me where to go. And as we're going, she said, this happens to me everywhere I go. She said, in the grocery store, they asked me how to find the cereal. In the mall, they asked me where a certain store is. Watch this. She said, as a matter of fact, last summer we went to Disney World. We stepped off the tram, a family steps off the tram behind us. She said, the Disney World people everywhere, they came straight to me and said, will you help us find the castle? I said, what did you do? She said, I opened up my fanny pack, pulled out my extra map, drew the way to the castle, and got them on their way. Watch this. I said, do you realize you're more than a professor? When students register for your class, it's probably because they're lost. Because you help lost people find their way. And she cried and she said, it's happened to me all my life. I said, I know, because you're brilliant. If you don't remember anything else I said in here today, I need you to leave this room knowing that you are absolutely brilliant. And you don't have to keep contorting yourself to fit into boxes that were not created for you in the first place. Right. Discover your brilliance. Share your brilliance. Live in who you are. Serve well without over-serving, because nobody is served by you not being here. That's my time. That's all I got. If you have time, If you'll scan this QR code, you'll get the workbook. It'll ask you a couple of questions about the session, and then the whole workbook will be emailed to you. Thank you all so much. It was my honor to serve you today. It's my honor to be here with you. Thank you for having this Georgia girl. Thank you. Go ahead. It's still on.
And on behalf of Black Infant Health, we want to thank you, or a token of our appreciation. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. As soon as you all get that, then I'll grab my laptop. And I gotta run to the expo area. So if you have questions,